Hello and welcome back to Matura Express. My name is Timna from the English stream team, and today we're talking about holidays. So I hope you all are having some nice winter holidays. You had a nice Christmas and nice New Year's Eve, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. So let's just jump right in. Holidays, Christmas and New Year's celebrations in Austria. Okay, so we're just going to talk about this topic a little bit. I assume that you are all familiar with the topic, what we do on Christmas, what we do on New Year's Eve, but maybe you don't really know how to talk about it in English, so that's why we will try that today. So, Christmas in Austria is celebrated on the 24th of December. And not on the 25th, like in Great Britain, for example, or in the US. And yeah, for us, the 24th is the birthday of Jesus Christ. And baby Jesus is also the one who brings the presents in the evening of the 24th for us. And in Austria, the baby Jesus is called Christkind, so the Christkind brings the presents. Usually we spend this day with family, friends, we do some excursions, we go skiing, we go ice skating, or we relax. It really depends on the family. Some people have lots of traditions that they do on this day, other people just hang out. It really depends. At midnight, many Austrians go to Mass, go to church, to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. There's also a kids' mass at 7 o'clock because, of course, little ones usually can't stay up that long. And those kids' masses also are nice because they have lots of plays and theaters for the kids. Then on the 25th and the 26th, we usually spend those days with family, gathering around, having lots of food, catching up. And yeah, seeing our friends and family basically, and don't stop eating. Then in the next few days up until New Year's Eve, we just relax, hang out, go skiing. And then on New Year's Eve, we usually spend this day or the evening also with family or friends. There's lots of parties, events and so on that you can go to in Austria. People also like to go in the mountains to ski or to see, to have a good view over the fireworks, for example. Here we can see a few typical images that you will come across when you celebrate New Year's Eve in Austria. Let's talk about them a little bit more. So typical traditions that we do on New Year's Eve would for one be Bleigießen, which there is no English term for that, but that's basically an old New Year's Eve custom of fortune telling by pouring molten lead into cold water and reading the shapes created. So that's what that looks like. That's what we have here, yeah. So as you can see, the lead melts and then you put it in the cold water and it creates some shapes, and then there's these little sheets that tell you which shape means what for your future. It's a very popular thing to do on New Year's Eve. We also like to give each other small lucky charms, which is very common in many countries. So we like to give each other pigs, chimney sweeps, horseshoes, or for example 4-leaf clovers, which are often made from chocolate, or also marzipan. And also they can be made out of plastic, but everybody likes to have something to eat as well. What we also do at midnight is we dance the Donauwalzer, which is a famous waltz by Johann Strauss, which many of you probably know, and also which is known all over the world. And on the radio, usually the radio stations in Austria play this waltz at midnight, and we also hear the famous Pummerinnenbell, which is a famous big bell in the Stephansdom church in Vienna. And that's how we basically spend our New Year's Eve, and then the night partying, having fun, drinking, just like everyone else. Then on the 1st of January, what many of us do is we go to visit family, to wish them a happy new year and to wish them a good future, to make all their dreams come true and all of that. And sometimes also the children then get money from the grandparents and so on, which is a very nice tradition to have. Typical food we eat around this time, of course, would be, for one, Christmas cookies, which are made in big batches before Christmas. So there's lots of grandmas working away in the kitchen at the beginning of December, making lots and lots of different cookies. There's lots of different types and recipes. And all of Austria's people like to enjoy the cookies throughout the whole of December. Typically on the 24th of December, many people like to eat noodle soup with Frankfurt sausages, which looks like that. You all probably know it. Yeah, this is a very typical Christmas food. In Austria, there's usually two types of people. The ones that eat noodle soup on Christmas, and then the ones that have like a really nice roast, or for example, a nice turkey on the 24th. I'm the one with the turkey, which is, in my opinion, definitely the better half. But hey, not here to judge, right? What else do we eat? We also like to eat fondue, which is not cheese fondue, but fondue like cooking meat and vegetables on small skewers in a pot of chicken stock on a table, which looks like that. And yeah, you cook meat and vegetables, as you can see here, and then you can dip it in some sauces, have some bread with that. It's really good. What we also like to eat is raclette, which is a kind of do-it-yourself barbecue, which you have in the middle of the table. And then there's these small little pans underneath, as you can see, where you can put things in and then put cheese on top, and it melts and it's very delicious. So those two dishes or foods are actually very popular as well, especially on New Year's Eve, because it's a lot of fun. You can do it yourself, kind of. It's fun to do that with lots of people around, lots of friends or family. So it is very possible that you get, for example, the theme or the topic of Christmas in your oral exam in English. And for that, I've prepared some example questions that could be about the topic that you could get. So let's just maybe go through them. For example, you could be asked, describe how Christmas is celebrated in Austria to someone who has never visited the country. So as we just talked about, you could say that it's on the 24th. We get presents by a Christkind, so baby Jesus. We like to eat a lot. We like to eat Christmas cookies and all of that. Then you could be asked, how do you celebrate Christmas? Do you celebrate with friends or family? Do you celebrate, what do you do over the holidays? Do you do some excursions? Do you just chill and eat? What do you do? And what do you usually eat? Are you the one with the noodle soup or the one with the turkey, for example? Another question that could be asked is, do you think the way that we celebrate Christmas in Austria has changed over the years? And do you like it? So here you can kind of state your own opinion, show that you've thought about this topic, that you can talk about it actually. And to give you maybe some more vocabulary on this topic and just a little bit of a read, I have prepared I have prepared a text here, which I found on the internet, about Christmas season in Austria. So we're just going to read that through, and it can maybe give you some more information about the topic and some more vocabulary. So, Christmas season in Austria. The time from late November to the end of the year has a very special meaning in Austria. Visit Austria's Christmas markets, try some Glühwein, and enjoy the spirit of Christmas. Austria is a very fascinating country to visit at any time of the year. But the weeks from late November to the end of the year hold a very special meaning and let you become familiar with some of the most beautiful aspects of the country. Deeply rooted folk traditions come alive in colorful romantic events. Advent, the period of preparation for the festival honoring the birth of Jesus Christ, begins on a Sunday 4 weeks before Christmas Eve. This is the day when in living rooms all over the country Advent wreaths woven from evergreen twigs and decorated with ribbons and 4 candles are hung or prominently placed. On each of the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, 1 more candle on the wreath is lit at dinner time. Many families pray, read Christmas stories or sing carols together. So the wreath is actually Kranz, for example, the Adventkranz is the Christmas wreath. Christmas markets are a long-standing and typically Austrian tradition. In Vienna, for instance, the market is held in the large square in front of City Hall. This market can be tracked back to the year 1298. Innsbruck opens its romantic Christmas market in the narrow medieval square at the foot of the Golden Roof. In Salzburg, the Christmas market takes over the square in front of the cathedral with its picturesque stalls, with the tree vendors, while the tree vendors is quite a hard word to say. So a vendor is somebody who ein Verkäufer, for example. So the tree vendor is somebody, jemand der Weihnachtsbäume verkauft. So the tree vendors occupy the Residenzplatz on the side of the huge cathedral. However, almost every small town has its own Christmas market. Christmas traditions in Austria. The Christmas tree plays a very important role in every town, sets up its own Christmas tree. A traditional tree is decorated with gold and silver ornaments, stars made out of straw, sweets and candy wrapped in tinfoil, gilded nuts, decorated gingerbread cookies, and so on and so forth. On Christmas Eve, shops close around 6 p.m. and there are no movie or theater performances and no concerts. Most bars, restaurants, nightclubs are closed and traffic is almost non-existent. There are, however, some coffee houses, bars and restaurants that are open in Vienna. Around 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve, which is December the 24th, the tree is lit for the first time and the whole family gathers to sing Christmas carols. Silent Night, Holy Night, written and performed for the first time on December 24th in 1818 by Josef Mohr and Franz Gruber in the Austrian village of Oberndorf, is still the favorite Christmas carol of the Austrians. Presents are placed under the tree and young children believe that they were brought to them as a reward of good behavior by the Christ child, Christkind. Austrian Christmas tradition has it that it is the Christ child himself who decorates the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and brings the children their Christmas presents. And it is to him that their letters and wish lists are addressed in the weeks before Christmas. So as you can see, there's a few good words in there, like the wreath, the Christmas carols, and so on and so forth, that you could use in your exam. Maybe you could try and think about the few questions that we talked about, prepare some answers that you could give, and then you should be prepared quite well for this exam. So I hope again that you will have some good holidays and that you can start your year in a nice way, and we will then see you in the I think next week. All right, bye.